Scholar.
I think very deeply.
Sinner.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Derrick Pierce. Welcome to the Scholar and Sinner Show. If you're new to this, like Brutus, because we always knew this,
this is how we do this. Your mama's a nudist.
and I'm the rudest. Hey,
and
your
some
turn.
People,
Bing!
and some people are nudist.
Volley. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. This week I am Kip the Spectacular. Yes, I am.
I think you're already spectacular. You can't be spectacular 2 weeks in a row.
Okay. Well, I'm just Kip today, y'all.
Wow.
I think that was the week before.
Was I
It could've
spectacular
been.
the week
No,
before?
you
No, you just Kip.
Oh, I'm
Then
going to
you
figure
went-
it out.
Then you went spectacular and then magnificent. Now you're back to
I'm
spectacular.
running out of adjectives, y'all. I'm running out.
Isn't that weird? That the guy who's the actual
English guy. Yeah,
yeah.
I have a degree in words.
Yeah, he has a master's degree
And, I
in English.
have in English, in the language that we
In
speak.
English, but he's out of
You know what?
terminology.
I'm gonna go get some cool shit next week. Watch.
Okay. So what'd you do this weekend?
Well, this was a very interesting weekend. Didn't we? You and I both went to this. What was it called? How would we describe it?
What?
It was a social distancing concert.
Oh, you're talking about the Electric Mile.
The Electric Mile. Yes, we went to the
yeah.
Electric Mile. It
We
was
did
a
the
light
Electric
show.
Mile.
Yeah.
And I drove with them fucking glasses on.
You almost killed us with those glasses on. Like, all right. See, it was like
Anybody who doesn't know what the Electric Mile is, it's like a EDC thing.
It's a
like,
drive-through
the
rave.
Techno, all that shit. And this is not my thing. But everybody else that we went with, apparently that's their fucking joint.
Listen, I swear I didn't know what I was getting into because Jay was like, Kip, you want to come to the concert? I totally played her with the voice. But yeah, Kip, you want to come to the concert? And I hate telling her no. I hate telling her no because I feel like, she's going to make that face. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Or better yet, she's going to get all tough and start teasing me.
Yeah, she's good at that, right?
Yeah, so I was like, sure,
Bitch
I'll
be talking
there.
hella shit.
And her taste in music is so wide and vast.
Yeah.
I was like, man, please don't be some country and western shit that I just said.
No, I would have not stood for that.
Like, please don't have me in the car. And then
Even though we were sitting, I would not have stood for
I'm
that.
not standing for that. But it was a really dope experience, and I didn't
Actually, it
know,
was really cool.
I didn't know how much like hallucinogenic drugs was a part of the experience of the rave.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't taking no drugs.
No. But you were hella hanging out the window with the...
Oh yeah, I had my head out
the
I had, like a dog, doggy style even.
Yeah.
I had my head out
with the
window.
glasses. So they had these weird-ass glasses that were creating like prism shapes, I guess, right?
It's like looking through a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, like a kaleidoscope. So if you're old, it's
Yeah, I was
one
about
of
to
them
say,
things that you...
you young children don't
You
know what a
wouldn't know what a
kaleidoscope
kaleidoscope
is.
is,
It's
yeah.
too low tech for you.
Yeah, super low
Way
tech.
too low tech.
Should just be tumbling around inside. But anyway, so I was desperately... So you stay in the car for the whole mile, and it's kind of like a slow maze. Think like Disneyland, but high as fuck.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I put the glasses on and was trying to drive
Bro.
that shit.
Bro, I thought that we was going to put us in the wall like it was the Indy 500. You know what I mean? Like, to put them dudes into the wall. Say, D, take them damn glasses off. Oh, bro.
It was really
nerve-wracking.
difficult, man. It was fun, though. So
Yeah,
we
you
did-
know, I found myself in the zone because I had never done anything like this before. And everybody else is like, dancing to the music. And I totally zoned out. I was like, wow,
yeah.
this is kind of nice.
Yeah, you were quiet back there
right.
for a hot minute.
I was in the zone.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? You did something very special this weekend, didn't you? Something out of the ordinary, something magical and mystical.
Oh, we're talking about two different things.
Oh, wait a second. I'm not talking about your regular, everyday,
No. Okay,
use my
listen.
meat to make some money shit. I'm talking
No,
about
no. That's not what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
So, I saw this girl, Genevieve,
Okay,
on Friday night,
okay.
and it was interesting. Yeah, we went out and had like appetizers and drinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
What
Genevieve.
the fuck are you talking about? Genevieve?
Yeah, her name's Genevieve.
Is that the bitch that told you about your future?
No, that was. I'll get to that.
Okay.
Is it Genevieve Jolie?
Genevieve Jolie?
No. Saw her a while ago, like years and years ago. It's a different girl. So I saw this girl, Genevieve. We had a date to have what they call that relations.
Word with Genevieve. Oh, but this was for the shot. This was for content.
No. We didn't film nothing.
Word.
Yeah.
Where was the wife during all these relationships?
Actually, she went out with a guy named Mike.
Yo, son. So you guys gave each other hall passes? You signed each other's permission
I
slips?
don't really have a hall pass.
But it was a permission slip. Like, yeah, go ahead and get some.
Yeah, so I saw Genevieve, and she saw a guy named Mike who is a police officer.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of Mike jokes all weekend long.
Sergeant Mike.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Mike jokes, and I didn't get the context, but I didn't know that she was, out there being a hussy.
Oh,
Just
straight up whore.
Yeah, I mean, when you was out there being a raging heathen.
She was being a whore. She went on a date with no underwear on.
What?
At least I had drawers on.
So wait up. So how does this work, man? Because do you give your lady a high five when she's on her way to get some, extramarital penis? Pow. Go ahead. Do your thing. You give her a high five out the door?
Pretty much. I like how Josh's brow was hella furrowed right now.
Because me and Josh are the same. Because I'm trying to picture this, right? But
okay, so let me. So I gotta back up,
please.
So Jay had sex with Mike this weekend, and I had sex with Genevieve this weekend, and they were in hotel rooms and stuff like that. And there was a whole kind of like setup and conversation beforehand, but we were actually role playing.
Oh, wait a minute.
So
I got it now.
So one of the things that I thought, so I've said before, right, is that I've had this bit of an epiphany this year about, how I handle things because of the adult business. And
right.
How I don't always see everything the way she sees them, right? So we had an issue a few weeks ago just about understanding each other and shit like that. And I was like, and we have a therapist. And I talked to her and I said, you know what? I said, not that it's happening. She doesn't want to bang anybody else because I'm freaking amazing. Probably she's just so irritated by me that another person would just piss her the hell off.
Right.
Not so much that I'm that great.
I love how he always finds a way to reach his hand behind and just tap himself right on the shoulder blade like, good job, champ. I'm the man. Yeah,
Yes, sir. By the way, my eyebrows are getting done tomorrow. So anyway, I said, listen, I said, you want to see how I would really approach another woman.
Okay.
And I want to see how you'd kind of approach another dude.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Well, what we should do, what this could be, right? This the whole little story could be like love advice from Derrick Pierce.
It kind of is, right?
Relationship advice from Derrick Pierce. How to spice up your marriage.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't a spice up. It was a spice up, but that wasn't the intention.
Right.
So I felt like we were really trying to accomplish is I'm like, listen, the way that a dude has to talk to a girl to get laid is very different than the way a girl has to talk to a guy.
Right.
Like a girl just has to be breathing.
I think it was a comedian, and he was like,
kind of
when a girl goes out on a Friday night, she knows that night when she leaves whether or not she's going to have sex that night.
It's a decision.
Dude is like, hey, I might win, I might lose, but at least I'm in the game.
Yeah. Well, it's a decision, which is a whole other thing.
Right.
So anyway, she has a Google number. She has been on Tinder before. I know about it and all that kind of stuff. That's a whole other conversation. So she has looked for extramarital penis in the past.
Right.
With my knowledge, with my blessings, all that stuff. Nothing has ever really come of it. See what I did there with the come of it?
Okay,
hey,
nothing come of it.
High five.
Yeah, it's a little gross, but hey.
Yeah, whatever. And so she has we call it the Tinder line, right?
The Tinder line.
So I text her on the Tinder line, like, hey, you gave me your number on Tinder. And she's like, who's this? And I'm like, Mike. And she's like, who the fuck is Mike?
Right.
And I'm like, Mike, the guy. And she goes, yeah, send me a picture. So, of course, I sent her a picture of me. And she's like, oh, I remember you.
That's kind of dope.
Right. And so wait.
Did you send her a picture as regular you, or did you have the whole regalia? Did you have the whole?
Oh, I have police officer pictures.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
you sent her cop pictures.
No, I sent this up. I was like, and I know she wants to bang a dude in uniform, more or less, right? So it was either that or McDonald's, and I figured the cop one was probably going to get me laid faster.
Oh, was it that picture that you posted?
Close.
I saw the
that
picture
was
that
one of them.
I saw the picture that he posted online
You
too.
totally look like a fucking cop.
He all look like Mr. Officer, sir
Yeah,
officer.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. You got your license, boy.
Yeah, I was like, boy, fuck you, copper. Who the fuck you calling boy?
That
Next thing I'm on the ground like, I didn't even do nothing.
That picture was from a scene with Tiana Trump.
Oh, what Trump?
Tiana.
Yeah,
She had
yeah,
the
it
name
works.
before he was the
Yeah,
thing.
before he was.
So anyway, so when I do these things with her, right, because she likes the role playing thing and all that stuff, and I'm like, cool, I'm going all in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get no.
And you are an actor anyway.
I didn't
so-
get no Halloween police officer uniform with a plastic hat. Like, I mean, I got it from Brad. I bought the whole thing from B-Rad, which, by the way, I owe you some money. I guess he think he owes you some money. Anyway, it's another story. So I got to give you a couple $100 or
sweet. That's great.
$150.
Can y'all please talk about the transaction shit?
I just thought about it
like,
right now.
mid-show. Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, I'll cash app you. Back to the story.
So anyway, so I get the whole legit uniform. The Ben Sherman belt and the whole, like, it's 100% legit, right? And that's how I roll because that's how important this is to her. So I'm gonna make it worth it, right? So anyway, so I buy in hook, line, and sinker. Like, I am not talking about nothing but Sergeant Mike, and that's what it is. And she on her thing. So we switch over to Kick, right, which is the app that you can text and shit like that. So we switch over to Kick, and hers is Jen. And so I'm like, hey, Jen. And she goes, I go by Jay. And I'm like, but it says Jen. And she's like, right, but just call me Jay. And I'm like, okay, whatever. and so we do this whole thing back and forth. So we're texting for like 4 days.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling
This
you,
is
dog.
a great little run-up here.
I am buying into the whole thing, right? But I'm doing it because I want her to see, like, and I didn't hold nothing back. I legit spoke to her the same way I would speak to
Did you send her a dick pic?
another. Absolutely.
Word.
100%. She sent me pussy pits.
Hold on a second. Ladies. At what point in time is it appropriate? Give us a day. I need like
Why
1
are
day,
you
2
switching?
days, 5 days. No, I'm going to get back to it. I want to know, when is it appropriate for a man to send you a dick pic? I'm curious.
Third pick.
The third picture?
No, I
is
don't
for
know.
me to
I'm just bullshitting.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
I lead off with it.
Leave it in the comments. When is it appropriate for a man to send? I'm pretty sure the
I
person
just say-
I'd probably say when they ask for it. is
Yeah, definitely.
probably
But they just say, what you doing today? And I
shut
just
your sensitive ass up.
look, I just say, what you doing today? They're like, at work, and I'm like, oh, I am too.
There you go.
Dick pic. Work. It's just work. It's
Just work. It's just work.
Just working.
Josh with the sensibility. Yeah, he's right though. Let the lady ask.
It's true.
Send her a respectful dick pic.
Yeah, I put a bow tie on mine and everything. Yeah.
A very thoughtful dick
Yeah,
pic.
it was, wanted to be presentable.
Yeah, of course. Got to get him,
Groomed, cleaned, haircut,
Yes.
the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
So
I
anyway,
interrupted your story.
so we do this text thing back and forth, and we're like, now I will not break, right? Like I will bite my cheeks, the whole thing. We are with each other, and she's like, hey, Mike, and I'm like, what's up, girl? What are you doing? And we're like this, right? And we purposely don't make eye contact, and
That's
so
pretty
she'll
awesome.
text me and then put it down and just be like,
wow.
and right, and we both buy in.
So
we make a date.
So what happens is it's J and D, but you're cheating on each other with each other.
With Genevieve
And
and
Mike.
Sergeant Mike.
Man, so does it actually feel like you're being admired by someone else? I mean, to be honest.
No, not this, because this had a specific, for me, this, I really was trying a therapeutic approach. Right?
Okay.
I wanted her to see how I would really be.
Right.
And I wanted to see, and it's hard because you know each other so
Of
well,
course, of
obviously,
course,
right?
of course.
And so there is certain things, but even when we went out, like I acted like, hey.
Yeah. Oh, it was a little.
Me.
You
Mike.
manufactured a little bit of awkwardness.
Oh, yeah.
That's
100%,
awesome.
100%. And I'm like, oh, my God, I could totally tell that was you when you walked around the car right there because you're the hottest girl in this place. And, and the whole joint, right? So we're sitting at dinner together and appetizers and stuff like that because she's like, I just want to fuck. Like, you
Wow.
know? And I'm like, okay, cool. But I had remembered, like, other dudes get really uncomfortable when she talks like that.
Yes, of course.
Because they're like, is this a trap? Are you gonna arrest me?
Yeah.
I'm not soliciting a prostitute.
Yeah.
She's like, why is this so hard? Like, I just want to fuck. Like, what's the problem? So anyway, so I'm like, can I just get to know you a little bit before we go back to this cheap ass hotel that I got for us?
You got a cheap hotel.
Semi cheap.
It's about cheap hotel. Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
It wasn't Motel 8 like we'd done before.
Oh, word. Motel
Oh yeah,
8
we
is
did the
gonna be a
dirty
little-
motel thing
gonna be a
too.
little
It was
low.
Motel 9.
Motel 9.
It's a one up. So anyway, so we go through the whole dinner thing, and she's like, I mean, mad, like hands up my leg and all this shit. And in the back of my head, I'm like, this is so hot. And the other side of my brain is like, is this bitch really feeling low over Sergeant Mike for no
Oh,
goddamn reason? She don't
shit.
even notice, fool. What a whore.
So you're method acting, right? And then you come to the question like, wait a minute,
Right.
maybe I'm doing too good of a job.
So we're going back and forth, and so of course she calls me on some bullshit, right? Because on Kik, I don't ever use Kik,
Right.
But
Right.
my Derrick Pierce thing is there,
Right.
But I put in the title Sergeant Mike, and she goes, "So what's this Derrick Pierce thing below Sergeant Mike?" And I'm like,
You should have.
a nickname. And
You could have
she's-
like, I kind of have a crush on him. He's an adult star.
I go a nickname, and she goes, "Wow, that's interesting because that's the name of my favorite porn star."
Oh,
and
shit.
I'm like, and
Mine
she's-
too.
and I'm like, "Oh, that's part of the nickname." And she's like trying to call me out on like, "Stupid, you left your Derrick Pierce name
Yeah.
on your Kik." And I'm like, "Look, bitch, just work with me here, okay? We're doing this thing." And so it was a really interesting experience. She
Good.
was on level 10. We
Right.
beat cheeks in the parking lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
We were
Let's
at
go.
Cheesecake Factory on Topanga.
Word. In the
Oh,
Cheesecake
she climbed
The
right
mall?
over the driver's seat and just was like,
Let's go.
I was like, we about to get this. And she's like, no, you're not. I'm like, and so we beat cheeks for like a hot minute in the car, in the parking lot, and then went back to the hotel. And it was, oh, Mike, do me, Mike. And it was like Genevieve. And, you know, of course, but it's,
Yeah.
I wanted the experience to be like, listen, just so you know, if you ever run up on some stuff, this is how it would be, like the text messages and the conversation. And I think now two things. Number one, I have a better understanding of where inappropriate is,
Yes.
right? Because if you're in this type of open relationship,
Right.
there's going to be seriously gray areas.
And we talked about this before, that
Yeah.
in an open relationship, ethical, non-monogamous relationship,
Yeah.
the level of communication has to be at a higher level.
It has to be at
because
12.
you don't have those boundaries that
No.
are already assumed.
No.
Like, it's just how do you maneuver outside of those boundaries in order to
Right.
keep the
So
sanctity
when we
of
were
the-
at
of
dinner,
the union.
like she's like feeling me up. I'm totally sorry. I know you don't like the visuals of
Please.
Jay, but fingering her underneath her dress,
Fuck,
right?
I didn't
at
know what
the-
he was gonna say, man.
At the table, right? Because hey, if she's grabbing on the work end of this,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna do the same. And so
You know what's funny?
so
Like,
here, so that part is okay, but we were walking back to the car and we kind of went to go hold hands, and I was like, that's awkward. The fingering at the table is okay. We can't hold hands. That's just
Wow.
relationship stuff.
Yes.
But
We're not there
and
yet.
it made sense to both of us. She goes, "Oh, is that weird?" And I go, "I'll help you down the street, but we should not be
Hold
holding
hands.
hands on the way to the car.
After
By
I
the way,
just-
bend over, watch out for the steering wheel as you jump on top of me."
as I just tickled your girly bits
Yeah.
in public.
So it's really interesting to see where you feel this is awkward. She goes, "Oh, so if I was walking to the car holding the guy's hand that I'm gonna fuck, that's not okay?" I was like, "I will kill you. I will kill you. You can blow him.
Hey.
Choke on it. Don't you hold his hand, you whore."
Don't you dare hold it. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's the dynamic of these
Yeah.
and what this the difference between intimacy and actual just like sexual gratification.
100%.
The intimacy is prized at a higher value.
Absolutely.
And as I listen to this, it's like, what are the possible benefits of even doing this role play? Because I think that people listening they heard her be super excited in the car, because over the course of a relationship, that excitement wanes.
Of course,
So,
yeah. You run into your ruts and your normalcies.
Yes, but
Our normalcies are different, but
just like anything that you have, it takes maintenance. It's not like you get with this woman or you get with that
Right.
man and then you can just go. It's just smooth sailing from there on out.
Right.
Because it's not. You have to maintenance your sexual health. You have to maintenance your economic health, and you have to maintenance your spiritual health, because together you are building a life together.
Right.
Yeah. First of all, I want to give you some love on that one. Good job, Dada boy. And I think writing your pamphlet is a good idea.
it's if and when I ever do like
Chapter 1,
some
dress
courses
up like a
on
cop.
this, basically
Yeah,
for her it is
yeah.
anyway.
Chapter 2, throw a sheet over her and drag her into a van. Maybe not. Abduction? You have an abduction chapter?
Bludgeon her.
Oh shit, man! No, we not bludgeoning. Like, why do you always go to level 700?
That went dark.
That's
That's
who I married. So I just thought it was an interesting concept of playing the role, and we both were on level 10 of excitement, even though we do this every time we're together, right? Like,
Right.
the physical activity,
Right.
but everything else was so heightened that it was a great experience. And then we went back home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I beat it up again because she was like, I just saw this guy, Mike. And I was like, you goddamn
Oh,
whore.
hell
Get over
yeah.
here. So we like hit a hot round 2.
Yes.
In the aftermath.
Hot round 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as us.
It's like a reverberation. It's like
And so
an
then we told each other
Mhm.
about what we did
They had to come clean.
that night. Yeah. So it's like a trip, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a level of intimacy and honesty
Mm-hmm.
that we haven't really gotten to because I'm always nervous to say some shit. And she doesn't, I don't know how she's going to take
You know,
it.
I just realized how kind of qualified you are to give like sex and relationship advice,
Facts.
right? Like this dude is super qualified because next time he goes down one of these roads of telling a story about him and his wife literally maintaining their relationship, it's going to be something wildly different,
Right.
wildly different.
Probably.
But these things are not unaccessible.
But I'm going to tell
like,
our therapist about it because I'm going to be like, listen, I don't know if this was a good thing or not,
No.
but this is what happened.
If I was you, I would use a therapist as the sign off. Like, okay, the
Yeah,
therapist
that's what
signed
we've
off.
been using.
Cool.
So
Documented.
our therapist had given us some other information about another situation having to do with our work and personal relationship.
Oh, shit.
And kind of understood some of my faux pas, not excused me for them,
Right.
but was helping her understand why I was having a problem. And then once we were able to verbalize it, it's not a problem anymore.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, yeah, you haven't done porn for the last 13 years. So what's abnormal to you is completely normal to me.
Right.
And that's a problem.
I think what I'm realizing is that the more effort you put or invest into a relationship, the more it raises the value of the relationship.
Oh,
Because,
yeah,
like
100%.
now, how can she mimic this type of experience with someone else? Like even having the conversation to kind of run this experiment
Sure.
would be difficult to do all over again with a complete stranger because now
Oh,
that
yeah, you ain't
guys-
going nowhere.
Yeah, so the
Never.
effort, like, I mean, I guess like what I'm pulling from this is like the effort to invest time and energy and thought process will
Yeah.
yield a stronger relationship in the end. Bro, did you see the video of those neighbors arguing about the snow?
The one that was shoveling the other one onto, yeah.
Yes, it was that married
Yeah,
couple.
insane.
And there was a guy that looked like he lived across the street.
Yeah.
And they got into an argument, and the yelling at each other and the cursing at each other escalated so fast.
You went inside, got a pistol.
He went inside and got a pistol. And the worst part about this shit, the worst part is when you watch the video, and I know that you guys have seen this. I know that you
Yeah,
guys
it's
have
pretty.
seen this. Yeah.
I think it went viral.
It's super graphic, and I always want to caution everybody about how much of this shit you take in because I think it's bad on your spirit and bad on your psyche, but that's a whole nother story. But
Right.
old boy goes into the house, comes back with a pistol.
Yeah.
He shoots the husband first.
No.
Well,
he shot at them and
He
shot,
shot
the wife
at
first.
them. Right. The
wife
wife falls
first.
on the ground. The dude gets shot, and you hear him yell, "Call the police! Call the police!"
Yeah.
They're
And he
both
ran in
laid
the
out.
house.
Then he goes back in the house and comes back with a long gun. Comes back with an AR.
It looked like an AR.
Yeah, and then he finished them off. He murdered
And
both
talk
of them.
smack.
And talked to them. His next
And
time, always said you should have kept your mouth closed.
Yeah.
But then he goes into the house and he kills himself.
Right.
So there were 3 people that died here, and
Right.
the takeaways from this are very, 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 very poignant because I always think about safety and how
Sure.
people do things and they say things because they don't think it can happen. Right? Whatever
Right.
the it is, they don't assume that it can happen. And like me, I actually don't live like that. I always am always aware that whatever the it is can always happen, right? Because hey, do you guys remember Roadhouse? There's that famous Patrick
Roadhouse.
Swayze, yes. Famous Patrick Swayze speech, and the theme of the speech is just be nice.
Oh, right.
Just be nice. He's talking to the bouncers. Just be
when
nice.
you say not to be nice, I'll tell you.
Just be nice. Because like when I was watching the footage, I was thinking about how just you don't know what this person is going through while you're yelling at them and while you're cursing at them and all this other shit.
Right.
And I heard Charlamagne from from Radio Station in New York.
Right.
I'm a huge fan. I like Charlamagne the God, right? But I heard Charlamagne mention this, like you don't know what this guy was going through, and he could have been mentally ill. There could have been something, and you just caught him on the wrong day.
Well, I would go as far as to say he was mentally ill.
Yeah.
That is not a normal response.
See, that's the thing for me. I think that everything inside of human capacity, everything inside of our doing or ability is normal. Like, I consider, listen, like, because like I think about this all the time because I am not absolved of a road rage incident.
Of course not.
Right?
None of us
And-
are.
But every single time I have like a road rage fit, I'm completely and thoroughly ready for whatever happens. Like if this guy shoots at me, he shoots at me, right?
But that's abnormal.
If this guy gets out his car, gets out his car. I don't know if that's abnormal.
That's abnormal.
Listen, man, anxiety is a normal thing.
You're ready for the heat.
Yeah.
And so am I, and I know Josh is, and a bunch of us are.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that are really ready for that heat?
But that's
I don't
why,
mean gunplay. I just mean that heat. Like, you want to pull over? You feel me? How many people are ready for that?
That's why just be nice.
Which is part of my point, is that's an abnormal activity. It's normal to get upset. It's normal to have a certain amount of road rage when people are just being jerks, right? It's abnormal to follow them off the freeway, make a right-hand turn, leave your car running in the emergency lane, and get out the car and threaten them as they drive by.
You had an incident like that
I
a couple
may have
months
done
ago.
that.
Right? Like, I've had incidents like that when I was on my bike and I lost it.
Right.
And, you know, you punch people's mirrors off or whatever. Like, I felt really guilty about this afterwards because it was at least a $70,000 BMW, and I put this, you know, the carbon fiber knuckles. I put this dent in this dude's door, like at least that big. When I rolled away, I was like, shit, it wasn't that serious. It literally wasn't that serious. It was not that serious at all. And then, you know, hindsight is like, well, he could have and probably should have shot me, right? Like, realistically,
Why should he have shot you?
he was in a convertible, and I was leaning into his car. In his face, just like.
But why would that
I was inviting
dictate-
him to an ass whooping, right?
But that don't mean he should shoot you.
Listen, bro. Listen. See, people that have this facade of safety will respond in manners that dictate that they don't have to respect the danger in the situation. What I mean by this is that, like, perfect example, when we were at dinner, and the waiter was teasing me.
Oh yeah, now, I saw that go bad real fast.
So the waiter was teasing me, and I gave him some leeway because it kind of wasn't his fault, because he was trying to play with the guys that were teasing me, right? But those guys are my family, so they get a pass. But
here's the thing: you are be nice even when you're not being nice.
Yeah,
it is very difficult for people who don't know you to surmise that you're not okay.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't playing.
I knew it immediately.
Yeah, so what happened was
I went, oh, I know that face.
Yeah.
Y'all should shut up. Y'all should stop.
It was crazy because the joke was calling me Carlton, which is weird coming from Latinos, specifically Mexican, because the connotation of that is that I'm not as black, because Carlton is the traditional white character
very proper,
from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? And I didn't let it bother me until the strangers did it. Like, listen. Like,
I'll be honest, I think it even bothered you tiny bit.
It did, but that's the ribbing. That's what happens. If it doesn't bother you, it's not working. But because I just wasn't in the mood to throw it back, I was just like, I'm just gonna take this abuse and it'll pass. But the point is, for me, when the stranger jumped in on the fun, I was like, bro, you think you're safe? You think that you're safe? Like.
And you told him that.
I was like, there's literally nothing stopping me from slapping you. And the worst part about this
he told him something to that effect.
Yeah, I was like, the worst part about this is, like, in my head, I will slap you, and nobody at this table is going to tell on me. Nobody's going to give my name, or they'll be like, I don't know who the fuck that guy was.
Right.
Nobody at this, because we're all rough on this here.
I think he saw it when you said it, because he went, I really thought that was your name.
Yeah, because, like, I was talking to Diana, right?
He had no idea.
And I mean, I would have talked to him. I wouldn't have got up and just slapped him. But if he would have said, like, a couple more things, I was like, bro, are you serious?
You were on the edge.
You should be yes sirring, no sirring me. You're providing a service, right? There should be a certain amount of respect.
Yeah.
Like, my money isn't good enough. Like, what are we talking about here? So I was offended. Like, it's kind of like when we were at your house.
Yeah.
And I don't think my white friends actually understand the perception of that I have to deal with all the time.
Right.
And that my whole code shifting thing is a thing that I do on a daily basis.
Right.
Jay even made a joke in the car about there was some guys next to us and the windows were rolled down and I'm just sitting there and they did something and she said, oh, they saw Kip. Like, it's kind of the big black man stereotype.
Right.
And the point is that I'm not a big, massive guy, but I'm not a tiny guy either. Well, no, my point,
I would say you err on the side of larger than I'm smaller. You're
bigger,
not a small person.
I'm bigger than the average dude, right? But when we were at your house and I went to the door to get the Korean barbecue, I just opened the door and the guy was terrified. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is the type of shit that I have to live with every single day. And then you kind of wonder why, like, there's so much mental health issues and, like, anxiety issues.
You were saying perception of safety.
The perception of safety. Like, that dude thought that he was safe. And I was like, bro, there's literally nothing from stopping me from choking you right here, right now.
So
nothing.
I think that because we're talking about perceptions of safety, that people think that they are safe with firearms. Okay. If I have a gun, then I'm in good shape. I have protection. And that's not entirely untrue. I believe that to a certain degree because I carry, you have yours, he has his, and I believe in that right. But I also think that in the situation that we initially referenced in relation to this guy coming across the street and blowing his neighbors away and then taking himself out, this is a problem. And I'm not saying that this is a daily occurrence in every area of America, right? In every city and county and area. Right. But I'm saying that this is a continuing thing. Like, I don't care. I'll just shoot them. I have a gun. They won't mess with me. I'll just shoot them. So I wholly agree with the Second Amendment and your ability to obtain this firearm and protect your home with a firearm. I also think that there should be a very stringent amount of gun control. And when I say gun control, I mean some sort of inspection process, some sort of validating process where you have to go through to be vetted to have this weapon. This weapon has one purpose. Right. That is to kill. There's no other purpose.
Nobody
for a
hunts
firearm.
deers with 45 caliber pistols, bro. Like, it's not
That's it.
hunting.
Guns of any kind, any make, any caliber have one purpose.
To kill.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Knives have additional purposes. Bats and other bludgeoning tools. have
a
different
baseball
purposes.
bat is for baseball. It just happens to lend itself very well to caving in someone's forehead.
Right. But a gun has one purpose. And the reason why I say the gun control thing is important because I have always felt that we have a mental health problem in this country masquerading as a gun problem.
So this is where I find like a gray area with what you said because I don't blame the gun. I believe that if we took away the guns, people would stab each other. If we take away the knives, people will hit each other with sticks. If you take away the sticks, people will bash each other's heads in with rocks. Like, I don't believe it's the gun. I don't, because like when you watch that video, like, you know how the argument about defunding the police makes people get all upset. Okay. Right? But if we were to allocate some of those funds towards mental health professionals that are trained to enter into situations to help alleviate certain problems, that would take away a lot of the crime that the police are policing would actually disappear, right? I don't want to get into the whole defund the police thing,
that's a
but
different
we're
topic.
talking about different allocation, because what I'm specifically pointing at is an individual that feels as though that firearm is an extension of their wrath or their anxiety or of their fear, right?
It is.
And back to my original point, this is why you motherfuckers need to just be nice, because you don't know, you have no idea. Now, this is very difficult to control, and like I said before, I've had moments, we've all had moments, and I don't carry my gun. I don't carry it with me anywhere, right? The reason why I don't carry it is not because I'm afraid for you. I'm afraid for me,
because you might do something that you won't be able to take back.
Because I might catch myself in a place, and I cross all the T's and dot all the I's. I could pass every single test, but at the same time, in my head, I might flip out one day and just be like, you know what? Cool.
Which is why I agree with the comedian Jim Jeffries.
What did Jim Jeffries say?
Because Jim Jeffries says, listen, I understand that all you Americans love your guns. I get it. He's originally from Australia. They had a huge massacre many years ago. And, before that, everybody had the opportunity to have guns and things like that. They had limited controls. And then they had a huge, huge mass shooting. I think at that time it was the biggest one in the world. It might still have been the biggest mass shooting ever. Maybe Vegas. I don't know how many people passed away in Vegas, but anyway, it was certainly one of the worst ones. Right. And after that, Australia's government went, y'all are done with these guns, and Australia went, okay, you're kind of right. That's pretty out of control there. And now Australia is a very different country than the U.S. We will never be able to take away everybody's guns.
Yo, I watched
That's
this
it.
biker documentary about Australia because they have a thriving like
Yes,
outlaw
they do.
motorcycle community there, right? And the outlaws, of course, by definition of outlaw, they have firearms and they end up bullying the shit out of everybody because it's a superior tactical
Because you have an advantage, right?
Right.
And so everybody always says, "Oh, I'm not worried about the persons who have gun legally. I'm using my legal gun to defend myself against the persons that have them illegally." Totally get the argument.
Right.
Totally get the argument. It takes a good guy with a gun to stop a bad guy with a gun.
Listen,
again,
yeah,
understand the
because
argument.
If you think about like some of the mass shootings, like Sandy Hook, when that guy went into the elementary school, the one that happened in Vegas at the concert, these murderers are largely going to a place where they will not be met with force. Like, you can't really do that in Nevada in a shopping mall. You know what I mean?
Sure, you could.
Can't. Yeah, bro, but you know how many
You could do it
guns
in
are
Texas.
in the mall?
You could do it
know
in
how
a
many
bunch of
guns are in?
places.
Listen,
I
I
get
guarantee
that.
you, like there's the opposite story. There was a guy that ran into a church. I think it was in Texas.
Yes,
but
and
one
one
of
of the parishioners
had a
firearm
was like, "Yo,
and took him out."
I have to do this, otherwise." And to be honest with you, he was right. He was
100%.
correct, right?
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that everybody shouldn't have their guns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying there should be a mental maintenance program
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not worried. Listen, one of my instructors is Josh.
Right.
He took me to my first shooting class, and he's an assistant instructor for that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's dope at it. We've been doing tactical gun defense
Right.
for many years now, off and on.
So-
now the whole thing with that is we go to sessions, and I told him when we first started this activity, I said, listen, it just occurred to me recently that apparently everybody in our club has a goddamn gun.
Yes.
I'm going to be really pissed
Bro,
if
we
one
was
of
at
these guys shoot
Friendsgiving.
me.
I wish you had that picture. We were at Friendsgiving, all this wonderful food. And next thing I know, it looked like Call of Duty in that house. The
Yeah.
table had like mad just artillery just laid out. I was like,
Yeah.
wait up, hold on. Is there something going to happen? You guys getting ready for like an invasion or some shit? Like,
We all had our
I didn't know.
we all
Like,
were
is this-
exercising our Second Amendment rights.
Everybody was locked and loaded and ready to go, except for me, right?
Right.
Look, it's so.
My point is with that is that I am doing my best
Mm-hmm.
to be as responsible as I can. Okay. I do the courses, I do the training, I understand the firearms that I own. I'm not getting tell me the real point of having an AR.
Listen, man, I can't.
Don't tell me the BS that's out there for the AR owners.
No, man, I can't tell you.
Zombies.
Let's go. Just in case. Right?
The real reason, like what Jim Jeffrey says, is people own ARs because they really like them and they're cool as hell.
Right.
That's the real reason. Don't
Look,
tell
man.
me you're defending your home with an AR. And I say AR. AR is actually a brand. It's not doesn't stand for assault rifle.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
So, but let's just say a long gun,
Mm-hmm.
semi-automatic. Okay. You don't have that because you need that tactical advantage at
Mm-hmm.
home. The tactical advantage is my Glock. Is
So-
my 9mm. They're small, they're easily concealable, and they're easier to maneuver through hallways.
See, once again, back to the concept of safety, right? Like
Right.
you said, why do you have an AR? And I say my AR is not to really defend me against the guy that runs in my house. My AR is to defend me against the government in case. Right?
So your
Like-
one AR is going to defend you against the police
I'm
department?
just talking about my household. Like, you got to think, man. Like, the right to bear arms is not really about American citizens defending themselves against each other.
It's
the right
supposed
to
to be
bear arms
defending
was
against
put
tyrannical
into
government.
the right to bear arms was added to the Constitution when we made the Constitution because we rebelled against Great Britain. Right. Like,
Right.
if they didn't have any guns and they didn't form a militia, they were patriots. If they were real patriots. If they didn't have that, then they wouldn't have any
For
type
all
of
intents and
advantage.
purposes, they were not patriots.
Well, yeah, for all intents and purposes, they were fucking. There was treason. They were
treasonous.
treason. Yeah, because
They were committing treason.
yeah. But
They only became patriots because we won.
yeah, exactly. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that I keep going back to this perception of safety, like. And I'm gonna play the black card here. Happy
Right.
Black History Month, everybody! I'm gonna play the black card here because, like, I think about neighborhoods like Chicago,
Sure.
right, where you have these individuals with just massive amounts of shooting, and then
Yeah.
I want you to imagine being afraid for your life every single day, whether it's
Yes.
the police or imagery you see on whatever media you're watching,
Right.
or whether it's a gang affiliation that you don't have but you're affiliated by proxy. Like, you have to walk around with this every day, where a small argument can become, a shooting.
Right.
This is the type of thing that I don't walk around with. I don't just assume I'm safe because.
In 2018, do you know what the percentage of murders that were committed by gun?
No.
Approximately 73%. 73%.
So here's the thing. The reason why I take that with a grain of salt is because we have countries like England where there are literally no guns. But if we look at the murders done by knives, like, there was a time period.
They're not even close to what this is.
But there was
not
a
even in
time
the
period in American history where, because look, man, men are always been men. And I do understand that mentally men have changed. Like, we have become different. But there was a time period where guns weren't readily available as they are now. But thugs still existed. Remember?
I don't know that they've ever not been readily available.
Listen, you know that's true because, like, gun stores are pretty ubiquitous. Like, you can find a gun store anywhere
Now,
right
yes.
now. But
I think people have had access to firearms,
I
not even for self-protection. I think for hunting and for things like that, since I don't know how long, forever.
I guess my perception of this only comes from literature because there was a time period where gangsters carried knives, right?
Sure.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure gangsters carry knives now, but like, that knife has been exchanged for a firearm. Like, I know gangsters to this day that have throwaway guns just in case they got to shoot something up. And all I'm saying here is, like, as soon as you get comfortable and feel like you're safe, you can literally, like, I'm invincible. Like, what was interesting is that if you listen to the vocal, like to the vocal, like it's a song, the audio from that shooting, there is a long exchange and there are insults being hurled at each other.
Right.
If that man was holding that gun, they probably would have manned down. And then there's another point where the lady continues to antagonize him, right?
After she got shot.
But what I'm saying here, if he would have pulled his gun out earlier, then it probably wouldn't have escalated.
Well, I'll give you another point. Mm-hmm. What do you want to bet that couple that lives across the street also had firearm?
Possibly.
I would say highly likely.
It's highly likely.
I do believe this was in maybe Ohio or obviously somewhere where they have snow right now.
Right.
So,
somewhere cold.
And somewhere that it looked pretty rural. It was not a metropolitan.
No, it was definitely a suburb.
Right.
It was a suburb.
And so I'm going out on a limb and saying that most likely they had a weapon. Yet again, another reference to Jim Jeffries. Where do we keep our firearms? Do you walk around the house butt naked with flip-flops on and your gun holster on your belt?
No.
Of course not.
No, of course not.
Where do you keep your gun?
My gun is locked. Mine's in a
locked.
lockbox. Yeah.
I know you need to tell nobody where it's at. It's locked, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I know that Josh keeps his under relative lock and key unless he actually has them on him. Mm-hmm. Because why? Because that's a safe thing to do.
But if you go back far enough, you could find an episode where this guy's wearing a onesie. Yes, you can find him wearing a onesie, gunned down, like the most gangster onesie you have ever seen. And go look at you like, say something about this onesie. I double dare you. I bet you won't. I bet you won't.
I had the 40 on me.
40 cal in the onesie. Yeah. I was like, gangster.
Say something about my onesie. I dare you. But the point that I'm making is those guns are under safety. They're under lock and key.
Right.
They are not readily usable. So Jim Jeffries makes the joke that the robber breaks into the house and he's like, oh, you want to break into the house? You just wait right there where I unlock the safe. Honey, is it 42 to the right or left? Yeah. Just wait a minute. I'm about to get this firearm and then you're going to be in trouble.
Right.
And so it defeats the purpose of having the gun. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, my final point and the consistent point that I make is I don't want guns to be null and void. Right. I am happy with the firearms that I have. I would like to acquire some more because I actually enjoy the tactical self-defense training.
Right.
My issue is stop saying that everybody's going to take your guns. They're not. Start being responsible for them and be okay if they say, listen, a mental evaluation for your capabilities is not a bad idea. Right. You getting a gun license renewal every other year is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Stop acting like it. If police officers had to carry insurance for the people that they could possibly shoot on the job, they might think twice about shooting and killing somebody. That's my point, is it's not the nullification of the Second Amendment. And please, just for the love of God, on a final educational standpoint, you morons who continually say stupid, ignorant things about the Second Amendment. It's the Second Amendment, and that's the way it was written, and that's the way it should be. It's called an amendment for a reason, you goofball.
Yeah,
It's an
he called you a
amendment.
goofball. That was scathing.
It's an amendment. It can be, amended.
Yeah.
Much like other amendments that we had. It's not set in stone. It did not come down from the hand of God or whatever you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens for me, God for him.
God for me.
That's not how it works. It's called an amendment for a reason. Things change over time. And the founders in their infinite wisdom understood this and realized that, maybe some things would change in the future.
Right.
You might have to amend some things.
Good job. To kind of put a pin in it, right? Like, I thought about the media and I thought about like what I literally absorbed, like what I took in, what I consumed, because there is another video, and it's the sweetest video ever. It's a little black boy and a little white boy, and they're no more than 3. They might be 2 years old, and the little guy, the white guy's having a tough time. He's struggling, and the little dude says, "You need a hug?" And the boy says, "Yes," and he gives him a hug, and I was like, just be nice. Like, think about it. That guy, he probably needed a hug. The shooter. He probably needed a hug.
Probably
I
needed
would
some
argue that
medication.
he might have needed something. And when you kind of assume the safety, right, that nothing can hurt you, you put yourself in a position of superiority so you don't have to recognize this person's humanity. So just be nice.
Yeah. So you had a question. You at the beginning of the show, you asked me something about our weekend. I gave you a completely different story altogether. But what did you ask me?
So, word on the street is you went and talked to a lady that had a crystal ball and was trying to tell you about she read the bones, she cast the bones.
No,
and
that's
she read
a lie.
The bone. No,
That's not what happened.
she had a deck of cards
Not
and she
even-
flipped it out. She was like, Jack, Ace.
That's also not what happened.
You got to flush. Did you flush? Did you win?
That's not what
You was playing
happened.
blackjack?
You want me to tell you what happened?
Please explain to me what the shit was.
Okay, so Jay had this great idea that we should go see a
I just love the way you just defaulted the decision. Okay, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead.
That's a lie. You never let me go ahead. Never.
I'm going. Do your thing.
You gonna be the black person in the movie.
What does that mean?
Oh hell no!
Oh,
You
that's
about to
me.
go down-
That's
Oh,
me. That's
hold
me.
on, I'm
Yep,
gonna be
that's-
quiet.
I
And wait.
can't
Oh,
help
they
it.
about to kill her.
Yep, I can't help it.
Quiet. I'm gonna be
It's in
quiet.
my-
I'm
that's
be
in
quiet.
my genetic memory. I'm talking to the movies. Don't go to the movies with me. I'm gonna ruin the shit for you.
No.
Might as well just get in there with me. D, you will be right there with me.
Listen.
Okay.
So she thought it'd be cool to go get a psychic reading. I would prefer the cards.
Tarot
The
cards.
tarot cards because I don't know, it just makes maybe a little more sense to me. They both are a little bit ridiculous.
Okay.
I'll
All right.
explain why. So we go to the psychic reader, right? And it's like right there on Ventura Boulevard, and got all the neon signs in the front, and and this older, and she's a straight up gypsy. And I know I've dealt with gypsies before.
Tell the truth. You went and saw Miss Cleo, didn't you? Call me now. You went and saw Miss Cleo.
No, I did not see the wannabe Jamaican chick.
That was the greatest commercial
Or
ever.
Caribbean. She's from the Caribbean.
I don't know where the fuck she was
supposedly.
from, but Miss Cleo.
So anyway, this older lady comes in the room, and she's got the air mask, the nose, the oxygen.
Oh, shit.
Right into her nose.
Yeah.
And sits down and is like looking at both of us and just starts rattling off stuff. Now it wasn't all BS. She said some things that were on point. Whatever. Jay's very open to those suggestions, and so
Right.
I'm listening and I'm enjoying the activity. First off, that old lady had a come up because she got $200 out of me for like 15 minutes. I am in the
Word.
wrong fucking thing. Like $200 for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Did she at least kiss you?
Kiss me?
Yeah, $15 in the 15 minutes, $200. You didn't get. She at least rub your balls.
No.
Damn.
No. She social distancing.
Social distance.
So
That was the only thing.
she goes through the whole thing, and at the end, right? And she's telling Jay like, you got some real problems, your stomach and abdominals or some ridiculousness, right? And she goes, yeah, yours is all the way messed up. And then she looks at me and she's like, you have some serious problems too. You got people next to you who are basically being haters, blah blah blah. I can fix it with crystals,
I
these
am not one
special
of 'em.
crystals. These crystals only I have. You can't get them anywhere else. By the way, they're $700. So I heard everything up to $700. Then it turned to a Peanuts comic. $700.
Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. $700.
That's funny.
And I'm like, oh, for just $700 measly dollars, you can fix all my problems with a couple of crystals that I'm going to hold in my hand to align my chakras. Apparently, this is how this is going down.
Yeah.
She looks at Jay and goes, yours are way more expensive. And I'm like, well, I'm feeling better about myself right now because she's way worse off than I am.
He needs the $700 crystals. You need the $1,500 crystals. I'm sorry.
And I go, well, we'll think about it. And she's like, okay. I mean, you know,
If
it's going to
you-
get
if-
worse.
Yeah, right.
Right?
trying to scare you.
It'll be $800 next time you come back.
Well, you know.
And I'm like, well, I'll just kind of take my chances there, gypsy lady. And so we're going back to the car, and Jay's like, so what do you think? And I'm like, I think I got ripped off for $200 right now. Like
That lady was trying to make $900.
She was trying to make way more than that.
So $200 for the talking, and then $700 for some rocks.
Just for mine.
No, $200 for talking, and
Yeah.
$700 for rocks.
I was okay with the $200 for talking. Talk to me for longer than 15 minutes.
Hey, Tio, I know you're out there, Tio. I know you listening, Tio. Tio, you are going to be our club psychic. You know what, Neo? Go find those crystals. Tio can find those crystals for you.
Online.
Tio will find those crystals, and he will help you align your chakras.
Yeah, he will.
Yes.
With mini dosing.
Shout out to Tio.
So anyway, so we do this, and she's like, she said some really important, like interesting things, and I'm like, yes, she said some interesting things. Yes, I'm sure that some of them were educated guesses. Maybe she's got some psychic ability the aliens gave her. I have no idea.
Psychic abilities the aliens gave her.
Maybe, but I'm rolling with it. Like
Yeah.
it's cool. Like if it makes you feel better, then it's $200 well spent. And so then we line up a tarot card reading.
So this is where I listen. What did George Bush say? Fool me
he
once.
said, fool me
No,
once,
but-
shame on me. Fool me twice when
Hey,
you're not going to
well,
fool me again.
Yeah, I love the way he said that. Because when you told me this, I was like, okay, T, you go to the psychic. You're Mr. Non-believer and all this spiritual stuff, right? You go to the first psychic. Cool. All right. Curiosity. Then you go to another one? Like, bro,
She was
I
a
was
tarot card
shocked.
reader. It's different. And it was only $75.
I was actually shocked
I
that
feel like it was a bargain.
that you would go have this experience, right? Like,
Why not? Listen, do you go to the Fast and Furious movies because you don't know what's going to happen?
No,
do
there's
you go to
definitely-
Fast and Furious to see a good movie?
no,
Hell no.
no.
You go because you're into cars and you want to see Toretto say some really stupid stuff and watch
and I'm the judgmental one. I like the
and
Fast
watch
and Furious.
Tyrese do the only thing he can do now, which is be in one single solitary franchise.
You see how he
and has
sprinkles
very
some
little
hate?
talent for anything else.
Tyrese ain't did nothing to him. Leave Tyrese
No,
alone.
he's on the other side of the rock, and I roll with the rock.
Leave
So
Tyrese alone, bro.
the rock put him in his place.
Bro, leave Tyrese alone. He ain't do nothing to you.
Anyway, so back to the tarot card reader. She says some things that were interesting because I feel like, listen, I'm not paying for the enlightened reading. I'm paying for the entertainment value.
Okay.
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 And so that's how I justify it. Now, the tarot card reader said some things that were ironically identical to the other lady, which is fine. I get the hustle. I'm all about it. I appreciate her because she didn't try to hustle me for no damn stones.
Yeah.
And she gave the reading, and I was like, how often should you have your reading? She's like, things change. I'd give it about a month or so. She wasn't
Right.
like, come back tomorrow.
So
I was kind of feeling her out for that. And she was cool with it. So I'm good with that. And I appreciated it. And she had more poignant things to say. She was like, listen, this tarot card reading is going to be for the both of you. But she went back and forth, and she was like, you have a new career starting. What you're doing now is just your passion, but it's not your real career. Like this is not going to be your real thing. She was talking about me.
Yeah.
Now, we did start a new company for a new project,
Yep.
which is hopefully going to be financially rewarding.
Yes.
But what I do now with the gym and things like that is 100% my passion project. I really,
He's a
really
coach.
enjoy it. I love helping people.
Coach.
I would like to make a lot of money doing it.
That would be dope.
But as long as I can pay everybody that works for me, I'm happy.
I still believe that you should make a fitness video and get into that because you're already into media, so why not? But go ahead.
Step by
Finish it.
step.
Yeah.
So when she said this, it was very much pointed and directed at me. And then she was like at Jay, and she was like, listen, there's turmoil within your family and some people close to you. But she wasn't like, I get a feeling that my spirit said one of you maybe had a falling. She was very direct and was like, listen, I'm just telling you what I see. And so I could appreciate that. And I was like, oh, cool. She had some very spot on things to say. So I appreciated it. And I was willing to buy into the ultimate ridiculousness of it because it, to be honest with you, I felt like Jay walked away and had a bit of, she seemed a little more calm and more at ease.
So it makes sense that you would do this to humor the woman that you love, right? Because I would ask, do you actually believe in any of this? Because listen,
I don't think so.
Psychics, for me, is like, they say shit like, you have a mother. Your mother is a woman. Your mother is the woman that gave birth to you. And people are sitting there like,
her name starts with an A or a C or
so
an M.
Insightful.
I'm getting an R.
Right.
I'm getting an R.
They say stuff like, there was another child that you were close to.
Right, and then the person
and the person's, my cousin Jimmy. Yes, your cousin Jimmy. Like bro.
Right, so I stay stoic
through
the whole thing. Like, I don't give very much response on anything. I don't head nod. I'm just like,
listen, man. So here's the thing, right? Me being the Bible guy, right? I actually believe that stuff is actually possible.
Okay.
I think that there's actually a spiritual precedence for this in the Bible. Like in the book of Samuel, there's this dude named Saul who was the king, and he was chasing down King David.
Better call Saul.
Yeah, he was afraid that Saul was going to take his. He was afraid that David was going to take
Saul
his.
Saul was the grimy attorney for Heisenberg.
Oh shit! Well, Heisenberg's a Jewish name. Hey.
Yeah.
So he was afraid that David was going to usurp his power as king, right? And Saul's an interesting guy too. The point is that he goes to the witch of Endor. Endor is where,
you like the moon from Star Wars?
Yeah, that's where the Ewoks live.
That's where the Ewoks live, exactly. So he goes to
Ewoks in the Bible?
There are Ewoks in the Bible. You know what the Ewoks in the Bible do? They be pop locking and breakdancing and shit. No, I'm just playing.
They got little spears?
I don't know, bro. Ewoks are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So Saul goes to the witch of Endor because he's trying to bring up the spirit of Samuel. Samuel was a biblical prophet. He was the guy that talked to God, right? But Saul kicked all of the soothsayers and all the people that did the shit that your person does.
Right.
So here's the point. When they get to the witch, she was a hustle lady. She was hustling people, right? And then when she tries to bring up the spirit of Samuel and it actually works, this bitch was surprised. She was like, oh shit, the shit worked. Holy shit, right? So when Samuel comes up, he's like, yo, I was just dead. What the fuck do you want, right? The point that come to Bible study with me. Come to Sunday school with me.
That's what was in the Bible. What the fuck do you want?
So the point that I try to make here is that there's a precedence for this, and the Bible specifically says, like, kind of stay away from these things because they calls them, like, familiar spirits. It calls them, like, necromancy. The word necro means death. Necromancer is someone that actually communicates and communes and has, open communication. I just said communicates, communes, and communication 3 times. But with people that are dead, right? All I'm saying here is this type of shit is always weird to me for someone that doesn't believe. But when you say, it has an entertainment value, that's one thing. But I also want to point out that your wife's belief is connected to how you feel because it gives you a certain amount of like peace. Like you saw her change.
Sure.
You saw her change. So it doesn't matter if it's almost like a placebo effect by proxy. Just by how close you are to her, you are affected by her belief, which is strikingly interesting.
Well, look, you said it's in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And everything in the Bible must be true. So this must be true as well.
No, so
tell me about that fish and the dude that lived in the fish.
When we talk about,
or are we just being hypothetical?
No. When we talk about what's in the actual book, right? I feel as though that there are ideas and tenets.
He lived in the belly of a fish.
There are ideas and tenets that exist.
It's not a whale.
That call you to use common sense. So what happens here?
Did you say common sense and the Bible in the same sentence?
Absolutely. The Bible says rightly divide the word of truth. You're not supposed to just listen, man. Look, if this
so
is
the Bible's saying don't believe in the Bible.
You're speaking from someone that would go to a congregation and listen to the pastor, the father, whoever the leader of the church speak, and just go home, right? And that's good for a lot of people.
No, I want to be entertained.
I know, but that's good. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of those churches are very entertaining. Like a lot of those churches are actually based on.
I like a good yarn.
Bro, listen,
A good spin on reality.
we can talk about like even the services.
I just
are
paid
entertaining.
$275 for a spin on reality.
You absolutely did because there's no difference between that lady that charged you $200 and the dude or the other lady that charged you $700 and the pastor that is passing the collection plate. And I know that I made a whole bunch of Christian people mad at me when I just said that. But what I'm saying here, it was a spiritual investment that you made.
Speaking of spiritual investments, don't we have some questions?
Yes, we do.
I don't want to get too far gone and not get to the questions.
Oh man,
again.
so shout out to everybody that's following us, the Scholar and Center on Instagram.
Yep, we appreciate you.
Follow our Scholar and Center Instagram, please, because you can send a question into the DMs, or you can write a question in the comments, and we'll just read them on air. We'll just absolutely read the questions to you guys.
And slide in our DMs.
Yeah, and we're not going to get too far away. Go and slide.
Slide into
on
the
in there.
DMs.
Slide in there. Well, we're not going to get too far away
use
from
water-based lube when you slide into,
Whoa,
because
see?
the silicone is a little.
I'm glad you.
little
Hey,
extra.
how do you pronounce that? What is that?
How do you pronounce that? Which one?
Dasha Wada Whirlwind.
What makes you think I can pronounce a word that doesn't exist in the English language?
So, hey man, that's not a real word, bro. A collection of letters, consonants, and vowels don't make the shit a
It
word.
means
So leave me
something
alone.
to that person.
Well, Dasha Wada word is with them one, whatever the fuck that is. It says, slide down memory lane, talk about your time in school or any time in your life. So we've been down memory lane pretty much today. We talked
that's
about
pretty
the
much every
weekend.
show.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for the comment.
Moving on. We answered that without even trying.
Now, Just Mix K17
Yeah.
says, fat shaming, good or bad?
Ooh, I have
Yes,
mixed,
yeah.
I have mixed emotions
Come on, Mr.
about that.
Mr. Trainer. Fat shaming, good. You are quick to call someone fat too. I've seen you do
I'm
it.
sorry, if you're fat, you're fat. What do you want me to do about that? It doesn't mean I think that you're lesser of a person.
Yeah, but it makes people feel lesser of a person.
Okay, so then you have some issues with it, so you should do something about it. And if I can help you get there, I'm 100% on your team. But I'm not going to pretend that you, excuse me, that you not taking your health, wellness, and fitness seriously now lets you off the hook. And I don't believe in the, just love you for you, and you should love exactly the way you
so
are.
So there's no body positive movement on your side?
It's not that.
What are we talking about
I'm
here?
not going to tell you should be in love with the way you are because, oh, well, that's the way God made me and I can't change. I'm sorry. That's a bullshit argument.
Ooh.
If you don't like what you see in the mirror, then you should absolutely do something about it.
I think the redeeming part of your statement is that if you're not in love with yourself, then it doesn't do you any good moping around. Like if you're a big person and you love to be a big person,
I'm cool with that.
I'll
ride with
beautiful big person, be confident, be lovely in your own skin.
Yeah, I'll ride with you.
All right,
but if all you're going to do is feel horrible about yourself and not do anything about it,
okay, all right.
then you're turning into a bit of a masochist.
Yeah, so
that's why there's two sides to that fat shaming coin.
No, I get it because initially it sounded like motivation through negative reinforcement.
No,
right?
Now keep in mind.
Ha, you fat mother.
No. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to take pot shot. That's not true. I will take pot shots at you if you're my friend. If you're my friend, I will actually point out the fact that you are a bit rotund.
A little rotund.
But that being said, I like women with curves. And if you ask me if I'd rather a little more than a little less, I'd take a little more.
But, one of the things is that
I have some females that are thick, and I'm cool with it.
I mean, us as a family and even us as as a friend, I say friend group because it's very difficult for you guys to even understand how we even view ourselves as family. You can't even
understand.
I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but until you're on this side of the fence,
I'll insult it.
You don't really get it, right? But one of the things that we do is that we share. Like, yeah, you might tease someone about how heavy they are if they're in our family, but then you offer them the gym. Like you offer them professional training and top of the line equipment. Like, let's work on this. It's the same way that Cuckoo Studios. Like we're only really here because our family.
They say wherever you're recording now is the low life place to record, and that you're a pathetic person, like, not because of your own issues, because of the demise of the equipment and the location of where it's at. Cuckoo Studios, on the other hand,
exactly.
You could be a star.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Cool.
So stop fucking around with your shit and come to Cuckoo. Yeah, you're the label. But it's owned.
Next question.
It's owned by our boys. All right, here we go. How's Kip's property going? Property's actually going pretty smooth.
Still in the ghetto.
I've had some hiccups because I have a problem tending it to, but I am on schedule.
Want to smack him up?
I was thinking about it.
Want me to fat shame him?
I was thinking fat shame him. Yes, into paying his damn rent. Rent shame this motherfucker.
Damn, you can go to McDonald's, but you can't pay your rent.
Yeah, like, you can't pay my rent, but you driving a BMW? Motherfucker.
Driving a BMW?
He's got a BMW.
That bastard.
All right, but I'm actually on schedule to have another $100,000 for next year to buy another property. This time
Can I
next
borrow
year.
some money?
Yeah, you can borrow some money.
Thanks,
This
man.
time next year, I should be buying another one. So
Yeah.
the
Next
property's
question.
Going to. All right, Kip. We know how D became a performer. What's your story? What made you decide to pursue a teaching career? My mom was a teacher. My father was a teacher. I was a little boy coloring in the back of the classroom. I always knew that I was going to be a teacher one day.
Kip wanted to be a mechanic.
No, I mean, as for
But his dad said, don't be stupid. You were born to be a teacher.
For the longest time, I was considered myself a musician. I still am. I just don't make music for you anymore. I don't give a fuck. I just make it because it makes me happy. But I own the
that's
studio.
self-righteous.
That's all I need, bro. Like, being satisfied is great.
I'm not making it for you.
I don't give a fuck.
I still make my art form for you.
I make my art. Yeah, exactly. You can see his artistic thrusting on OnlyFans for how much a month?
$4.99.
$4.99. That's a deal.
I will paint a picture with my fluids.
Oh shit! Oh.
Just
You
call,
know what?
call me Picasso.
Picasso. That was good. That was good. Hey, you know what? I think we need a montage of me absolutely being grossed out
And tapping out.
That was a new one. Paint a picture with my fluids. Yick. Yick. Have you always taught I've only taught 8th grade. I believe that I am the example. I have students that are in college that say that they are there because not they were in my classes because they got to see me and talk to me. I represent what is possible. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes Netflix show, blah 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 blah. All right, that's good enough. All right, good enough. Oh, that question.
His last question is not here anymore.
No, that was from Gabriel 626.
What was the question?
That was he tried to double up on us. I think Gabriel is a one person. Hey, shout out to Sumo. Sumo hit us on the comments.
Oh, Sumo.
Yeah, Sumo.
Cool.
Shout out to Sumo. What up, Sumo? I saw your comment, bro. I forgot we're not gonna read the comments on the air. But I saw it. So shout out to Sumo.
We'll do comments next time.
Do comments next time.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving right along. So, the Super Bowl. Did you pay any attention to the Super Bowl?
No.
What?
I know. Normally I do watch it, but I was having sex for a living.
Oh, so you were getting paid?
Yep.
Doing what you do.
Cash.
Man, but the Super Bowl is an American holiday, man. Like, it's an American holiday.
I take money over any American holiday.
Man, I feel like we needed the Super Bowl this year.
I needed to work.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of people need to work.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get a chance to talk about the stock market, right? But one of the things that happened in the stock market was the GameStop thing. And one of the reasons why it was generated is because people have been sitting at home for the last 10 months, like trying to figure out how to keep the lights on in their house.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then corporate America or big hedge funds.
Short sale.
Yeah, big hedge funds, Melvin Capital, and then they lost $4.5 billion. And the little man won.
They probably
just
had
on
it coming.
GameStop. We'll talk about that later. But
yeah,
man. Super Bowl was entertaining. I wish you would have watched it. Because her saying America the Beautiful, Jasmine Sullivan, and what was the gentleman's name?
Oh, I love Jasmine Sullivan.
There was a country singer that they did. I don't know dude's name, but he's a really, really popular guy. Like I can see his face in my head right now. But they did a duet for the
Jasmine Sullivan's dope.
Jasmine Sullivan's really dope for the national anthem. And the national anthem I feel conflicted about the national anthem now. The Weeknd did the halftime show. And Josh, what did you think about the Weeknd's halftime show?
I loved it.
Put a beautiful microphone over there, and he's still not using it.
Yeah, the Weeknd's halftime show was pretty entertaining. I've seen better, but it was good. It was good. All right, so you know what time it is, right?
Porn stories.
So I feel the need to take a little bit of the power back from the porn stories because you make my skin crawl. Right? So
you don't want to hear about what happened.
Yeah, instead of hearing some wild, crazy stuff, I feel like I could ask a real mundane question.
Like what?
Like, what type of pornography did you shoot this weekend, oh purveyor of... Never mind. Purveyor and another word. Never mind. I was going to do some alliteration, but then...
Didn't work.
No.
Because it sounded a little bit illiterate.
Alliteration, illiterate. Two different things, motherfucker.
Worked for the joke.
Yeah, it did work for the joke. Okay, what kind of scene did you shoot?
You know, you said you didn't want to be like creeped out or anything like that.
See, here we go. Here it goes. I'm getting ready.
Yeah. So it was a video where I broke into this dude's house, Christopher, and basically held a gun to his wife's head and said, "You got to pay me that money or else." And then she opened up the safe.
This was the else, right?
And I was like, "This is it. He owes my people more money than this." She said, "That's all I have." And I was like, "Give me all them jewelry you got on." And she was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Give me that ring or I'm gonna cut your damn finger off."
Damn. So you was a gangster.
Oh yeah. And then she was like, "But it's his mother's ring," and I slapped the shit out of her. Bam.
Damn.
I did. I
Word.
cracked her.
Hold on. You slapped her in real life or was that?
Oh yeah, no. I hit her a couple times.
You guys have no idea how heavy and thick this dude's hands are. Like he's got the heaviest hands. Like, oh my god. And he's got the weightlifter calluses. Like he's got the weightlifter hands.
It has ridges.
Ew. Gross. Continue slapping bitches.
So I slapped the shit out of her. And I was like, "Give me the damn ring."
You know what would have been dope is a Batman sound effects, like a blammo when you slapped her, like a big yellow pow.
And then she gave me the ring, and then I was like, "So he owes me interest, and I'm gonna take it out of your holes."
Oh,
And
bro,
not hoes.
so
but
you're a rapist?
Holes. Oh yeah, I raped shit out of her at gunpoint,
Oh,
and then I threatened her multiple times.
damn it, man.
And he didn't do anything?
No, he wasn't home.
Oh.
So I was like relaying the message through her, through his wife.
Tell your,
And I was
tell
like, "You
your
look
man,
like you used to be a hoe, and now you in high price stuff."
tell
So-
your man I took all his money and his vagina and I'm out.
Oh yeah, anal too.
Oh, word.
Oh yeah. And I slapped her up pretty good. She had like marks all over her butt. Both cheeks because I'm an equal opportunity butt slapper.
Leave a comment if that is your type of hype, if that is your thing, the whole break into the house and rape a bitch type shit.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Held a
leave-
gun to her head. And then I was like doing doggy like at the end, right? And we did like a cream pie. You know.
Yeah.
And
I
then
know.
A.
yeah,
cream
just one
Not
cream
B
pie.
cream pie.
Not
No,
B
no,
cream pie.
A cream pie.
cream pie.
And it wasn't real. But so we did a cream pie.
I don't want to know.
I'm just kidding. It
I'm
was
not
totally
gonna ask the
real.
question.
It was totally real. And so like right as I was about to come, I started telling her, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave him a little surprise inside of you." And she's like, "No, don't come inside of me. No, please don't." And I'm like, "Shut up." And I pushed her face into the pillow and in the bed and then held her down, and her eyelashes were kind of hanging off of her face a little bit like this. So every time she blinked, it didn't come all the way up. Like that, right?
Hear about that bitch online? They used the Gorilla Glue to glue her eyelashes on?
Like a dumbass. No, it was her hair.
Oh, yeah. Man,
was her hair.
Man, oh, man.
Whole other story. You
Yeah.
can see your ADD's kicking in.
Yes.
So then I held her down, and I came inside of her, and then I grabbed her phone, and I'm like, "Tell Christopher what just happened to you."
Oh,
And
shit.
she's like, "You owed them money, so he raped me and took all the money." And I said, "What else?" "He came inside of me."
Word.
And I was like, and I threw the phone down, and I grabbed my pants and the gun, and I left. Left my socks, though.
All
as
right.
a reminder.
Evidence.
And I just watched the Richard Ramirez Night Stalker documentary on Netflix, and he was climbing in people's houses in like 1990.
Kind of like what I did.
No, 80.
in like 86 or something like that.
Yeah,
And-
kind of like what I did.
Oh, hey, please leave a comment if that is your shit, man. I need to know. I'm gonna make a matter of fact, don't leave a comment because the feds is watching and you'll probably end up on some perv list. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
absolutely leave a comment. I already know the ones that are going to leave a comment, Charisse.
Sharice. Yeah, that's Sharice's jam right there.
Yeah.
She said some shit about being tied up by a ball.
Oh, I tied her up too. Forgot about that part.
So you tied up of course you had
The wife.
Lord
Don't be
have
ridiculous.
mercy.
Why are you going to leave her untied? That's just stupid.
That's just dumb. You got to be proficient with your raping, right?
Yeah.
Proficient rapist, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? You left all kinds of DNA in her. You all the way getting caught. You gonna be in the database.
Well, it's not like I have random cum float. That's not true. I do. You know what the funny thing is? Not
Tell
the
me the
first time
funny
I
thing.
raped somebody in that house.
Oh my God. You know what, man? I feel like there's a certain amount of you that
Who says that?
yeah, man, who the fuck what's going on, man?
As this was happening, I was looking around the room and I'm like, I totally raped somebody else's wife in this room.
Holy shit.
But the husband was in on it in that scene.
Oh.
So he's like, please don't rape my wife.
Wink, wink.
Look, man. I guess I don't know. I can't get into the mindset of someone that would actually enjoy watching that. But there's a huge population of people that enjoy that type of thing.
Oh yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was a good scene. Good scene.
Alrighty then.
Her makeup was fucked up.
All right.
Yeah. As a side note, you ever want to make a girl really, really angry during sex? Mm-hmm. When you're in mist right there, right before you're about to come, just go and lick your finger, and then fuck up her eyebrows.
That, you know what? That sounds like the asshole move of the afternoon.
Yeah, because he's like, oh my God, my eyebrows. And you're like, ah.
Oh my God.
Lick it,
and smear it.
yeah.
Okay, smear it.
And on that note, thank you guys for listening to the Scholar and Sinner Show,
Yeah.
where you always learn something new around
You
here.
learn something new.
If you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, it's probably right around here somewhere. Please
like,
feel free
comment,
to do so.
subscribe.
Yes, all of those things he just said.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thoroughly offended by this and you want to unsubscribe, kiss my ass.
Feel free.
Outside of that,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you guys next time.
Absolutely. Love.
Scholar,
I think very deeply.
sinner.